and this elevation, okay? And so now what you're going to do is see this roof plan gets organized here. This elevation gets applied here, and this elevation gets applied here, okay? Now I'm going to show you how to do it. So you just keep remembering that, and then we get this drawing. This is drawn, that looks like a 30-30. But of course, you know, it's rectilinear, so it looks a little different. I'm showing you to do 30-30 because it will lay best on your drawing. You could do 45, 45. You could do like 60-60. But they look all very strange, you know, for this building. There might be other building types that might make more sense, but not this one. Okay, so we have this one and we have this one. And then that would mean that we would be seeing this drawing like this. Okay, so one thing you want to do, let's take that away. Oh, that's yours, okay. Good. And then, well, we want to have these two drawings sitting here like this. Now we know they're at scale, so if I could have the architect scale, please. Then we know we're only working at 1/8 inch. And from experience, I know that the drawing that we are going to do for this is going to pretty much start at the bottom of the page. We don't really need to worry about, it'll go off the page a little bit. It'll go off the page a little bit, okay? But it's just the tip of it, and there's nothing going on up there, so you can just scan it and you can just draw it in later. It doesn't matter what happens, okay? Because we're doing mock-up drawings. And then what we're going to do here is we'll start out at the bottom, and the first thing I'm going to do is I want the corner of the building. So basically I'm going to go to just about the bottom of this drawing, and I'm going to place that line at 30. And I'm doing this all in just guidelines, okay? This is the bottom. Now I have to decide what that bottom is, okay? And that bottom is going to be I see the model again. The bottom is going to be where, this is where I'm going to choose it, is where this edge of the building meets the concrete slab right here, okay? So this point that I just drew is right there. That is right there. So that's my first kind of understanding of that. Then what we're going to do is we need to start measuring now. So we're going to go ahead and use the short end first. Okay, and that'll be in the front. So what we want to do is come back in here and start measuring. And so we're going to go back to 1/8 inch, and we have 63 2 inches, right? Okay. Okay, not successful. Okay, 63 2 inches, and I'm going to come back this way, and I'm going to measure 63 and 2 inches. 60, 60, 61, 62, 63, and 2 inches. Okay, make sense? Because now I'm going to get the big thing in. Remember when you were doing the measure drawings, you always do the big box first. Big drawing box, check your measurements 2 times, 3 times, make sure it's right, then fill it all in, okay? So then what I'm gonna do is I know that this dimension is correct, so what I can do is I can lay up a line right here. That's a guideline, okay? Okay, there's my guideline on this side. All right, does it make sense? All right, and then the next one would be the other dimension. And see what I'm doing is I'm going all the way out to the outside, okay? And then if I have to reduce to get the column, it's a reduction to get there, okay? And then on this one, I'm gonna come back in and 1/8 inch. And this is going to be, this one is drawn at 71 feet. It's not quite right, is it? So there's something a little bit awry here. Should be 72 and, wasn't it 70? No, 70 and 6 inches? Okay, so 70 and 6 inches. I'm going to draw it properly, and you need to skimp off the sides and get it worked out, okay? So look, this is, if you're a few inches off, 6 inches is a lot, okay? A few is like 3, okay? So I think you might want to correct that because it's going to change the proportion a little bit. Okay, so we're going to go with that, but we're going to do that. That's 70 and 6 inches. 76 inches. 68, 69, 70. All right, so now I know where the other end of this goes. Here. All right. Why is that? Oh, okay. Must be something. Okay, 70 and 6 inches. All right, now what we want to do is we want to start finding where the top of this is, right? Because see, this is all going to be on top of this, and then everything else is going to be a subtraction. So me understanding that larger box is the better way to do that. So we're hoping that this is a correct dimension, and it should be, in this case it is, looks like 22 10 inches. Is that sounding right to you?
I think it's 22 and 7 inches, but that's
22 and 7, 22 and 10. We're within 3 inches. You're both right. Okay, 3 inches is fine. Okay, so I'm going to go with 22 and 10 inches. Okay, and then now I know that this roof is flat, right? So all I need to do is lay out this dimension here. So that would be 21.2 there. Okay, so now 22 right here, so you can see how it's coming, and 22 and 10 inches. There. Okay, and then flip. Right, and now you can see the drawing is starting to evolve because now we know that it's also 90 degrees at all corners, right? And so therefore, geometry tells me that all I need to do is parallel this one. Parallel that one, and now we have the basic drawing. Make sense? Okay, so now we can see that drawing. This will be, everything will be transferred from dimension to that elevation, and then this elevation, and then the roof plan, which also is included some elevation on that stuff, right? It's right here, the curved wall in the garden, the roof garden. Now, let's go ahead and start talking about this parapet. Now, in your model, it doesn't have the parapet, but you know it's there, right? A parapet, okay? You know what that means? Para means around, okay? And it's this little wall that surrounds the roof, little jog up, okay? Now, how wide was that, Natalie?
7 inches.
7 inches, okay? And so I'm able to be parallel and draw something 7 inches here, okay? So I have to come back in here and draw something 7 inches, all right? And how, that would be to the top of it, right? But that means that the roof is a little bit below that. So how high is that little parapet wall?
I think it's like 3 inches,
3 inches?
I think.
Okay, it's kind of a little unlikely because you need a cant strip there. But it's like, why don't we just agree that it's like 6 inches, okay? That's it. All right, because, and I'll talk to you a little bit about construction because it'd be hard to do it in 3 inches. So here, you can bring this line here. We know that we're gonna have to have 7 inches again, right? But I need to be parallel to get that 7. Flip it. Realize it's going to come down this way, right? We know where it's going to end because that has to end there, right? So now I don't really need to measure it anymore, right? See, I can come in here, bring that line across, and if everything worked, it should connect, and it does. Okay, that make sense? So now I've got the top of that little wall, right? Now I need to find and go down, right? So I know the top of the wall is here, okay? So we decided that we were just gonna go ahead and make all our parapets 6 inches, okay? So 6 inches is not very much. And there's a little 6-inch wall. So I'm gonna come straight down from here, 6 inches, right? And then this wall is going to come down. I'm going to go this way. You see what I just made? Now this goes down. The reason I have to establish where that is because when you look at this stuff, it doesn't happen at the top of that dimension. It happens 6 inches below that dimension. So I had to find a new roof surface, okay, or a new plane to draw on, right? Now, as you can see, it's painstaking, and you need to kind of go slowly and make sure you don't miss anything. Then what you need to do is you need to find, you come back in here with dimension, and you need to find where this location is, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one, okay? And then you need to be able to carry them all the way down and find where this new plane is, right? And remember, see, the first thing you need to do is find out where the big volume is, then the top surface, then the subtraction of the top surface, which gives me the next surface. Because when you start drawing this stuff, it needs to be dimensioned from where that surface is. And then this stuff needs to be dimensioned from where this surface is. You can't just do it like this, okay? Because each one has its own regulated area. And so these lines, you have to kind of draw them all the way through. That's why you do a very quick guideline. And then once you know where it all is, darken it so you know what's what, okay? You can erase some stuff, but it's pointless. Just do the guidelines light and it's not a big issue. So we're gonna just take a look here, okay? And let's go ahead and try to find this hole, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is, where is the actual hole? See, there's another little parapet wall on top of this, but I'm gonna do that as an addition, right? So what I want to do is I want to find where the parapet wall will be, okay? So I'm going to come on this side of the parapet wall, and I'm going to come back in here, and I'm going to draw a little guideline across that so that I know where I'm going to dimension to. And then I'm going to try and find, this location here, where this is the wall, the hole inside, okay? So now I'm going to try and find where that is, where that is, where that is, okay? And then I'm going to, like, how do I find that? I've got to come from the corner. Remember, we always reference from the outside, okay? And then the 1/8 inch scale tells me that this location is 17 feet 6 inches. So, where turn is it? 17 feet 6 inches, and no change in scale. Same scale, it just looks weird, okay? So I'm gonna go from here to the outside, 6 inches, 17 feet 6 inches. Now I'm to the outside, not to the inside parapet, right? And then what I'm gonna do is just follow procedure. Doesn't always seem like it makes any sense, okay? And I would bring it, and I would look at it this way. Now, I'm gonna show you, you could put that line there, but now that line is at the top of the parapet, so it's not correct, okay? So what we have to do is, we have to come back in here, okay? And we have to find where this parapet would be. So I'm gonna find inside of here, 6 inches down. Okay. Now watch what I do. I'm gonna come in here and go dash, 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 dash. And then I'm gonna come over here, and that's where my 6 inches is. And then I'm gonna go, oh, dash, 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 a hidden line. And my hidden line tells me it's right there anyway. It just seemed to work out. Okay, and so when I draw from here, I know that that line is correct. Make sense? Because it's hidden. Okay, and then we're going to go inside, and I'm going to just put this line right here as a very light guideline. I don't know what lead this is. What lead is that?
It's HB.
And look how light I'm drawing. Just don't push. And then all of a sudden it goes away nicely, okay? And so we've got that one. So now we've got that dimension. Now what I want to do is I want to find, I know that that will be the same because they're parallel. I want to find where this is. So let me go ahead and find this next dimension, which is from the outside. So that's going to be 26. Well, it looks like it. 27. Complete 27. So now we want to know where that ends. 27. The good part of this is the scale doesn't change. You know, I mean, fewer factors, okay? It's a good thing. Okay, so 27, 27, that's good. And which direction does it have to go? It has to go that way, right? And look what I'm doing. I'm drawing it all the way across the drawing because you don't know what's going to line up in a building. So it's a good thing just to put it all out. Now we know that's where that is, okay? And then from looking at this model, I know that I'll be able to take this and draw a line all the way down and find this floor, right? And so basically, let's do that. We can put that one in there just a second. Now let's go ahead and go find this other one. I'm going to go back to the reference point all the way out here and get this one, which this one looks like 46, 6. And we know that it'll go this direction. Got me? Okay, so 46.6, and then we know that that was a square, so we're ready to go. All right, so now what I'm going to do is, for the purpose of knowing where everything is, I want to go ahead and probably darken those as soon as I find the bottom. I know that this is going to go, I'm not gonna go above it, I'm gonna just go down below. See how I'm making a hole? Okay. Now I've got to figure out what that dimension is. Now I need your section. Now, you have a good section, so now you need your section because that's sort of seen in the section, isn't it? It's not really seen in elevation, okay? And once we know that's part of the section, you know, you don't have to take it out, just pull it up to us. You're great. Okay, thank you. All right, so here we have that. Now, we're looking here, we're gonna be seeing basically at the top of the parapet, okay? And this is also done at 1/8 inch. So we're looking for the bottom here, which is the floor. So we're gonna go to the top of this, and we said that was 12 and 6 inches. So what I'm gonna do is make that 12, and then we'll add the 6 inches on for the parapet. Okay, so that's 12 feet exactly. Okay, thank you. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down 12 feet. And now you know, in this particular view, now I need a little eraser. We have an eraser. Great, thank you. And I'm gonna just eliminate some of those things because that's just confusing, okay? Now, see what I did? Just put a hole in there. Gotta know the big stuff, drop it. Now, you come back in here and you can go, okay, where is this stuff? What is this stuff? Now I know a little bit more about what it is. It's a platform, gotcha. There's a window in there. Okay, you just have to draw that in. And then you come back in and you find that, and you place it. But you place it drawing from here. So now I can see that point, right? So I'm gonna want to go from that point to here. I can't really see this stuff here. So I have to draw it all from that point and all from this point, and then I find and locate that point and find this one. So now how do I do that one over here? What I might end up having to do is draw dashed lines for the hidden spot as to where that other line would be, right? Now I can find it pretty easily because all I have to do is know the dimension, and that's 27. Okay, so if I come back in here, okay. Well, lucky you. In this view, you don't have to draw that thing because it's hidden, right? So, but you see the point of what I just did with the hidden thing? Done. And then now we have this line right here. Now, what you do is you come back in and you understand where this is. And when you do the ramp, it's very easy, okay? Because you locate this point, which is this line, this point, this point, this point, and this point, okay? And then, of course, this point and this point, but you accurately get them in height and just trust the dimensions, draw the lines, and then simply just go from this point to this point and connect the 2 points. Just trust, okay? That's exactly right. So all you have to do is do like I did here, is find your reference, come down, and access where it is. Obviously, this point, then you have to go back to get the landing itself, right? So you have to come over about 6 inches, come over, find that, come down, everything, and then create that ramping system, okay? And as you can see here, it is all very possible, okay? And they did all of that, and then we're able to see that and get it all in there. Okay. It's a little hard to see, the light doesn't hit on it, but it's a very good drawing. It's just there's no light at the very top. So it seems like the other drawings are better, but it's just there's no light. Okay. And then you do everything. Okay, the windows are flat on this thing, but you know they're not flat, right? So they recess a little bit, so you'll have to recess them a little bit according to your drawings, okay? Let's see that section again. Thank you. Okay, you don't actually have your windows cut in that section. May I see the original section drawing that we drew from?
Oh.
Yeah, that one. You know the one that you put your measurements on? Now, because that one will indicate some window recessed stuff, okay? And it's where it falls in the wall itself. And that might need a little deciphering, okay? So take a look here. You can see that there's the poche. Okay, so I'm gonna write a couple things up here. So in your section, you have something which is then where it's all blackened in, where you blacken in the walls so that you can understand what is cut. So in architecture and in design, when you cut that building, it bleeds black. Just remember that, okay? And so what we do is when we fill that in, it's called poche, okay? That's an H. And so what we have is that's the poche of this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fill all that in. But you can see that when you cut through a wall, okay, and there's a window on it, so kind of reverse that a little bit. So the ceiling is under here, and then you don't know what's up there, right? But I cut it. I'm cutting right through here, okay? So I'm cutting through, and when you cut through the wall and you cut through the center of that window, we always show it like this. The outside of the window frame, the inside of the window frame, and then we don't poche it because all there is glass. It's super thin, and we're not going to put a little black line there. Make sense? And then what we understand in this drawing is that if we were standing here, we could look out a window. Okay? Otherwise, from the interior's point of view, you haven't really told me anything, right? You're going like, in this section, we're in a box with no windows. That is not true. We have a window. Okay? And so basically there it is. Then this indicates the parapet, going up and down like that. And then this indicates like a little railing or something. And then this indicates the parapet. But notice that on the top of this section here is two parapets and then a line going across. That's because I'm cutting it and I see the other side of the parapet at a distance. That's an elevational look or view. Make sense? Okay, and so where you're cutting through this then, now look over here. Now we're outside, right? Oh, so if I cut through this part of the building, I'm going to be looking at this, which means I'm looking at this after I cut through, right? So therefore I'm looking through and I'm seeing this part elevationally. So I'm not going to see this parapet black poche anymore because it went down. I'm outside with those ramps, and this is an exterior space. Does that make sense? So the black lines mean when you cut the building, it bleeds black. But if you don't cut it, it doesn't. So anything here is going to be black in this part of the view, and then beyond it is elevational, so it's a single line at this point. Okay, make sense? And then so we've got that. Now, so that's why, Natalie, you need to include, and everybody does, in their section, these windows and the location of them. You've got them. Just put them in and then poche them like that. You actually don't have to poche anything right now. Later on, you will poche it and everything, okay? But we can look at that one and you can understand it very clearly. Now, what if you were to move your view? And it didn't go through the window. Well, then it would be a a solid wall. But that's why you don't just take a section. You take a section in order to show another person how it works. Okay, so it's not just like, oh, that's good enough, I got a section. No, you have to pick the section